Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am here to talk about Jeong-Yeong Lee versus Blake Bilder. My prediction, I'll go with Jeong-Yeong Lee. I think he's certainly the more dangerous fighter. I think if you told me one of these guys got a finish, I'd be picking Jeong-Yeong Lee. And he's also very capable of winning a decision. Even though, to be honest, if you told me this fight went the distance, I would favor Blake Bilder. But Jeong-Yeong Lee can still outpoint him, and again, he's the much more dangerous guy. He's got 4 TKOs or knockouts, 3 submissions, 7 finishes altogether, and over half of them, at least 4, if not more, take place in under a minute. Don't quote me on that, but it's close. He's got a lot of quick finishes. He's got 3 arm bars altogether, 3 submissions, I should say. All 3 of them are arm bars. 2 of them are within 30 seconds, I think. 2 happened early in his career, but the last one happened on the road to UFC last year, where he armbarred Bin Ji, this capable, experienced fighter who took him down, and within 10 seconds, he was tapping. So he's still dangerous as he climbs the ladder in MMA. And the knockouts are there for him as well. He had another road to UFC fight, and it was a knockout that was even more quick than the submission was. I caught this guy with a right hand coming in and put him away. And that's his thing. He's a very quick starter. He's got a distinct power advantage in this fight, and that's in addition to having 2 inches of height and 4.5 inches of reach. I think he can find a lot of success on the feet, which is generally where he wants to keep things. He can fight hard for 15 minutes. He's got 3 decision victories. I actually don't know if all of them are 15 minutes or not, but I know the last one was against Jia Yi or Yi Jia. And that fight showed he showed, even though he was susceptible to being taken down and out grappled and grinded on a little bit, he was able to thwart a lot of that and enable himself to have enough success in a stand-up battle in that fight, and he walked away with the decision. And again, that was all takedown defense for him. Even though he was taken down throughout the whole fight, even to the very end, he showed he can work defending takedowns. But he he has one loss, and it was many years ago, 6 or 7 years ago at this point, to this guy Young Kim. I was able to see that fight. He lost in a striking battle in a 2-round decision, but he did avenge that loss. I wasn't able to see that, but I know he got the guy out of there in round 1. Or maybe I saw it. I don't know. Either way, Jeong-Yeong Lee has very sharp hands, and there's no reason to doubt his durability at all. He was briefly staggered by this guy Choi that he fought, but that was it. He seems like a very healthy young 28-year-old fighter with a lot of danger in him. Here he's fighting Blake Bilder, who has my respect as a fighter. Blake Bilder reminds me a lot of Spencer Fisher, a fighter from 10, 15 years ago, if you happen to remember him. But Blake Bilder, he's up against it often physically. Here he's given up the height and the reach, but he is very sound fundamentally. He's got good quick striking. He's relentless in your face, and on the ground, he's no slouch either. But what I like most about him is his tenacity. This guy has a lot of tenacity. He's a tenacious fighter. I've seen him in some tough spots in the LFA, I think. Knocked down by this guy Reginaldo Carvalho in round 1. Ended up battling back and put him away in round 3. He was knocked down viciously by this guy Frank Buenafuente in round 2 of his fight with him. And in that same round, he ended up finishing him with a triangle choke. And it looked like the story of that fight was written. He was going to be smothered on the ground, but he had an answer for it. And he's had an answer for everybody. 7-0 as an amateur, 8-0 as a pro, but then he ran into Kyle Nelson in his last fight, and he finally suffered defeat. Kyle Nelson, who also had him rocked a little bit at the end of round 1. He was hit and he was circling out very quickly, so I think there was something going on there. But Kyle won the fight by neutralizing him with effective strikes, well-timed low kicks and jabs, because he was the much slower fighter there. Blake Bilder's a very fast striker, but Kyle Nelson was able to beat him to the punch with some very timed jabs and leg kicks, dictating the fight with those neutralizing strikes. So he ran up against it there. I still like the way he looked in that fight. He had good moments, but he was definitely a step behind. And here in this fight, like I said, I favor him to win a decision, but that's assuming there are no big moments. And Blake Bilder is able to use his speed to reach Jeong-Yeong Lee. But Jeong-Yeong Lee is going to have those physical advantages. I expect any big moment on the feet, certainly, to go to Jeong-Yeong Lee. And Blake Bilder, he's a well-versed fighter, definitely, but I think he's going to have a hard time getting Jeong-Yeong Lee to the ground consistently. Jeong-Yeong Lee, like I said, he showed he could work hard defending takedowns for 15 minutes. And in a decision, although I'd favor Blake Bilder, like I said, Jeong-Yeong Lee could definitely outpoint him. So Jeong-Yeong Lee is the pick. I've played his money line at minus 130, not heavily because, again, I like a lot that Blake Bilder brings to the table. But I think he should be a favorite here, and he's got a bit of my money. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. Check out my other videos. Gonna end the fucking